All right, welcome to the Coaching Collective podcast, episode 7. So today we are lucky enough to go to the presence of Johnny Starr or John Gorman. So for those of you who don't know Johnny Starr, he's someone who's been a very big influence in my journey as a coach, bodybuilder, just overall, I guess, influence. Someone who I've been following for a long time since I was 18, so 10 years now, and has done plenty for the industry. So Johnny is a bodybuilder, influencer, fitness icon, located in the eastern suburbs of Melbourne, best known for his brand team Neverhome. Take it away, Johnny. Introduce yourself and let's see where you're at.
Thanks for having me on, James and Michael. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's a great introduction. I love it. You made me sound pretty good.
Yeah, I did, didn't I?
I'm just preempt. I'm a little bit sick. I caught some type of virus over the weekend, so I've been on antibiotics, but I wanted to still push through. So if I cough a few times, I need to blow my nose. Excuse me in advance.
Yeah, we appreciate that as well. I think all three of us are sick today, eh?
It's going around.
Yeah. It's not great, but we kick on.
You push through, right?
Yeah.
So let's get into it. So where did you want to start?
Man, just a little bit of introduction about yourself and I guess where your journey started and take it from there.
Yeah. So great question. Man, I'm just come from a middle-class family. Mum's from Fiji, dad's Aussie. Went to public schools. She did pretty average in school. Always liked to work out. Just found a passion for fitness, like probably when I was about 14 or 15. So bought a bench press when I was 15. Saw Arnold in, what movie was he in? The Terminator? And I saw
Terminator.
Something captivated me. I'm like, that's so cool. I got to get a chance.
Yeah.
It was like the story, how it started was I was in PE. It would have been year 7 or 8, and we had to do push-ups. PE teacher's like, who could like do as many push-ups as you can, and I could only do 1. And the older I could do 10, and like all the chicks liked him. I was like, fuck.
And it's always the chicks that get you into it at the start, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like I'm jacked, they'll all love me. Yeah.
only men love you when you're jacked, unfortunately.
No. Oh, the DMs are weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, so pretty much just got into it, joined the gym, bought a bench press as a kid, bench press every night. I was getting pretty jacked, like just as a teenager in school. Went to uni, dropped out of uni, started real estate. But at the same time, through all of this, this was when like Ziz was pretty popular, chest bar was popular. Like there was a couple guys making Facebook like pages.
Because I'll just interject there, because like that's just for anyone who's that little bit younger. Like you were one of the first who got quite popular as a fitness, I guess, icon, but who wasn't like a big beefed up bodybuilder. And I feel like that's where like the traction began, because it was like people saw people like you and they thought, God damn, like they don't realize that it's hard work to look like you do, but like they think, fuck, that looks more achievable than like Arnold Schwarzenegger. And then as a result, they sort of see this guy's a normal guy, and it's like, this is captivating. And that was like, for 2012, that was like the thing. That was what everyone aspired to be. Yeah.
Well, to be honest, I went to a festival when I was like 18 and 19. I went to this thing, Summer Days. And man, I remember seeing these jacked guys, like jacked and tanned, and they had this dominance over the festivals. I like to my mates, fuck this, I'm going to come back one day and be one of these guys. That was my mission in life, like just shredded jacked guy at one of these festivals. So I'm like, I've got to figure this out. Like, I know I can do it. And I've never really been good at anything apart from like skateboarding or like drawing as a kid. But like, when you set your mind on something and you're like, I was pretty persistent with it, and I really want it bad. So I got a few coaches. I spent just hours on like bodybuilding.com and forums and all this shit. And then I went to one. I was 22, and I was jacked. Jumped on a cycle, did some trend tests, maybe a bit of T3 even, and I looked good. And then I was at this festival with my mate, and like we like prepared for this thing. So this was like a comp for us, right?
I remember those days.
And man, fuck, people wanted to get photos with us. We're like, dude, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
So I got some pretty good images at that festival. And then I'm like, I'll make a like page. Like, I'll make one. I'll be one of these people that make a page. So I called it Johnny Starr because of a long story to do with my real estate. And from that page, there was no intention of anything from it. I just wanted to put out content to help people and just show them what I did to get in shape.
Yeah.
That's all I did. So every day I'd post some mindset, diet, what I've done, training, my meals, shit like that. I was just giving out free content. And I think people related to it because I was a real estate agent still. So the whole time I'm in real estate, but I go gym in the morning, do my cardio, then I lift weights at night. I do my meal. Nothing's changed. I still do the same thing now, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how the traction got started with the online stuff. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Just shredded, made a like page, put out content, and it just organically grew from there.
Yeah. So where did the Johnny Starr come from?
So I've been in real estate since I was 18, and then my director at the time, this guy called Craig Williamson. It's a kind of a weird story. He wanted to make a present for his mum. It was her birthday.
Yeah.
And he needed someone to like do a mock TV presentation about like his journey growing up with his mum and all the parties they used to have.
Yeah.
He got me to do it, and and I just like black jacket on and some sunglasses, and we pretended it was on TV.
Yeah.
We'll call you Johnny Starr, double R. I'm like, oh, fucking whatever. So it was just his name he just pulled out of his house. And I'm like, oh, that's a cool name. I'll actually use that.
Yeah.
And that's how I came up with the name Johnny Starr. Like, it was my mate Craig. Came up with it randomly.
I always wondered that actually.
But at the time, like, everyone had like a persona name, like Chest Bra, As, like Pix, like Nims. Like, you couldn't use your real name back then.
Yeah, no, you couldn't.
So Johnny Starr was mine, and it just, I don't know, it's just kind of catchy, and I liked it. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, because
no,
because go on.
No, I cut you off. What I'm saying.
I was going to say, like, I remember doing the festivals as well, and like people would cut for the festivals like it was a comp prep, and they'd gear for the festivals like it was a comp prep, and then you'd go there, and it was like your show day where you just sort of stand around like.
Man, they still do that. Like,
really?
Well, of course they do.
Yeah.
That's like, everyone does that still. You're not going to go to a festival and like not being shape.
Yeah, nothing compares to the old Stereosonic days though.
Bro, back in the day, I went to reminisce last year with my missus, and I was fucking peeled for it. And I kind of thought, like, I hadn't been to a festival in a while. Like, I was the only shredded guy there. Like, shredded. And these chicks came up to me, and my missus was like, what the fuck? And they're like, thanks for being in shape. Like, this reminds us of us of the old days.
Yeah, it's definitely like
everyone was like shredded at these festivals.
Yeah,
it was a bodybuilding show unannounced. You know
it was a massive craze though because of the whole Ziz chest bra era as well.
Oh, it was huge,
like,
man.
It was almost more popular than like bodybuilding itself. I feel like now bodybuilding has gotten more popular. But back then, it wasn't like, But even saying that, man, your body compared to back then is like night and day. Like, man, now, you're in great shape.
I was ahead of my time back then, bro. Like, I tell you, look at some of those old photos, like, I look insane. Now I've stepped it up a bit,
Yeah. In regards to like androgen use, like we mentioned before, the cycles, were you running like ridiculous stuff? Not ridiculous amounts, but just like stupid cycles back then?
No, it was like 3 meal a proper week, 2 meal a tren, a little bit of clen, sometimes some stanozol, but I never took a lot of gear. I just didn't know. I probably should have taken more. I just didn't know you needed to.
Yeah. Did you ever have any drawbacks from like stopping that back then? Because obviously you had a bit of time off in the between.
There's a couple of stages my mental health went down, but it wasn't because of the gear use. It was like getting booked online and stuff.
Yeah.
I think because I would just cycle. I just do one cycle a year in summer. And I'd be off, like these guys stay on all the time now, but I think it was just from what I'd researched. I just did 3 months of the year on gear. So I pretty much just shred while I was on gear and like maintain my size. So I remember, like, I'd always sit around that 83 kilos, 82 kilos. lean.
Mm-hmm.
And I just hover around that. Sometimes I go up to 87, like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but I didn't want to cycle during the year. I just wanted my body to rest.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that's the right thing to do, but I didn't know at the time that was what you did. I just
Mm-hmm.
did it. So you take some Nolvadex, a bit of Clomid, and
Mm-hmm. Good
wait
to
for
go.
your balls to come back, and they always came back. Yeah.
In regards to, like, if you don't mind talking about it, like with what you're doing now, is it a completely different approach?
Yeah, so I'm guided by Scott. So now I just blast and cruise pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to come off soon because I want to bank up some sperm. I want to have some kids soon, right?
That's
So
the same.
I'm contemplating like what to do next. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm not even sure exactly what I'll do, but right now I'm just cruising, just a little bit of primo and 250 tests a week. Which
Is
Okay,
it
cool.
hard?
is more
Is
than
it hard to think, knowing the fact that you're such a fitness icon sort of thing, that knowing that you're probably going to have to come off to have kids, like, does that sort of scare you in the sense of like all your content that you sort of push out, or are you still pretty confident in everything that you're doing?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it'd be good because I'll be open about it because I'm so transparent. So I go, guys, I'm off now. Like,
Yeah.
look as good, you know what I mean? But you know what? I'm so meticulous with the way I eat and train. I'm still gonna look fucking good off gear.
Yeah.
Of
I
course.
just won't be as full, you know. But I'll still staying shredded isn't gear. It's because of your calories, you know.
Yeah. And how long you been blasting and cruising for now? Like, when's the last time you were clean completely?
Yeah, probably 2.5 years, I reckon. At least 2 years, I reckon I've been on.
Yeah. Because I feel like it's a very individual thing how quickly you can rebound as well. I see some people bounce back really quickly, and some people don't come back.
I'll
You know.
probably take a couple of years off, to be honest.
Yeah.
At least, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, because that's definitely the way to go. Because, like I said, yeah, I do see. I feel like the hardest part of actually coming off with for most people is the psychological side of it.
Yep.
Oh man,
just
yeah. Especially if
become
you're
less of
jacked, but then you suddenly not. I've seen guys come off that they're a different person. They're like little introverts. You know? They're
yeah,
like,
exactly right.
so you need to prepare for that mentally. So I've prepared for that, knowing that I'm come off, and hey, I'm not going to look as good.
Yeah, I know, and that's yeah. I guess that also with the training performance and the sex drive and things like that, I feel like that becomes a bit of an issue as well. Well, more than a bit of an issue. Yeah, that's where it's like you get so conditioned to being like superhuman that you go back to human. You're like, what's this? Especially when it's been like like a lot of guys I know, they're just like 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you know, and then they decide, oh, okay, I want to have kids, and then it's like, all right, let's do this, and then it's just. I've seen some bad. One of my good mates that happened with, and he had serious trouble when he was conceiving because of that. Because just mentally, he just couldn't cope with that extended period off. He ended up staying off long term and came back, but it took a good 18 months for him to feel like to be himself again.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah, like, and his hormone levels were back to normal probably after 8 to 9 months, but then it was probably not until I'd say the 12, 13, 14 months where he was like himself. Which is
like, was he taking
he was taking a lot of gear. Yeah, he was taking a lot of gear. And he came straight from like a heavy blast to coming off. There was no cruise, no down reg, nothing. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a tough one as well.
Yeah.
The whole thing's like, you know, now with bodybuilding is just cool again, bro. Like, it's
it is cool again. Yeah.
Maybe it's because all I watch, but I think it's like you got guys like Nick Trigili talking about gear. Like, it's so open now that everyone's on.
Yeah, I know.
Like, man, the people that are on that you wouldn't think they're on, but like everyone. Everyone, I shouldn't say everyone, but a lot of people are on.
Yeah.
It's just like taking a fucking Panadol these days.
Yeah. Especially with the prevalence of hormone clinics and stuff too. They're coming right up. It's just like people think it's safe because through a hormone clinic. I've seen some rough hormone prescriptions. Yeah. Like,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like bodybuilding, I feel like there's two ends of the spectrum with bodybuilding getting popular again. I feel like you have the people that are like, fuck yeah, bodybuilding's getting popular. And you have the hardcore that are like, fuck, why is it getting popular? It's like, this was my thing.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if you call it a sport. It's like a lifestyle, really. Man, it's, you know, the good thing about bodybuilding and fitness is it just keeps you out of trouble if you take it serious.
Of course.
You gotta be disciplined. Like, you can be so disciplined for this. And none of it's hard, but it's like consistency. So that makes it hard. Like, going to the gym is not hard. Eating a meal is hard. Preparing a meal is not hard.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be a mathematician, but doing it all the time, you
Mm-hmm.
need to have a good reason. Yeah.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
for sure.
That's where your why comes into it as well.
Good time.
Yeah. So you had a little bit of like a, I guess, a lull period, bit of a fall from grace when you were that little bit younger. So how old are you now?
I'm 33.
33. Cool. All right, cool. Well,
Yeah.
we're 5 years apart. Nice. Yeah. So do you want to just touch on that a little bit? So that would have been around the time you did I guess, the first bodybuilding show, got a little bit quieter, and then slowly but surely
Yeah.
sort of stops
Yeah.
hearing as much. Yeah.
It's good to talk about this. So I
Mm-hmm.
found another coach called I won't say his name, but it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter. But I started training with this guy that won Mr. Australia 3 times, and he won Junior Mr. Universe when he was 19.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The the style of training he put me through was, man, I didn't know people could train this hard. It was, I threw up doing shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
There was not a session I would do on legs that I wouldn't throw up. I'd be driving home down North Road and I'd have to pull over and vomit. Like, it's insane the volume he'd make me do. Like, absolute torture. I'd get anxiety going to these sessions, but I knew I knew no one would do this training, or not many would be pushing themselves like this. He's an old guy. Anyway, so he goes, "You look pretty good. You should do a comp." I'm like, "Okay." I was training naturally, like I wasn't taking any gear, but I'd taken gear before, and like the guys I was with Danny, like Danny Doherty's, like, man, we're all just pushing the shit to each other. So everyone knew I'd been on stuff in the past. But when I did this comp, it was an A and B comp. I actually did it naturally. Like,
Yeah.
I was like 78 kilos, just shred, like I was tiny. Like I was so small. And I came second, and then I did like a fitness model thing too, or something.
Yeah. Can I jump in there as well? Just for anyone listening as well. Back then, so that would have been 6, 7 years ago.
I was
Yeah.
like
Yeah, longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like everyone claimed Natty. So when people came out about enhancements, it was far more demonized than it is today. I'm sure you agree with that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like back then, if you said you're on stuff, everyone was like, you're a demon.
I saw Jacko De Braun claiming Natty, and like,
I remember him.
Jacko to send me stuff in the post, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh well, he's doing it, so I guess we all just got to say we're Natty. Like, I
Yeah.
think I love it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so like, I just thought whatever, like it's just do. But I copped a lot of hate from that, and like I think at the time I didn't realize that because I was getting so popular, people were getting really jealous, especially people who'd seen me come up because I came up pretty quick through the industry. It's probably because of my personality. I had a pretty decent physique, but a lot of guys looked pretty good back then. And I think it caused a lot of people to be envious, especially like my old coach, like the guy that coached me. He did not like how popular I was. I was getting sponsorships, Gymshark's flying me around the world. Fuck it, I'm getting it's full on, yeah. Like this is still back in the day. Yeah. So anyway, they did a call out video on YouTube, and that really affected me mentally, bro. I went to a hole. I'm like, fuck, why the fuck is everyone like giving me such a hard time? Just relax. But then I was too young to like. I just thought I'd just brush it off, not talk about it. And I just went off social media. I'm like, fuck this. I just need a break from it all. So I just pretty much went off and just shut everything down. I'm like, fuck it. I don't want to do this anymore. I was my depression was that bad. I was suicidal. I was just fucking absolute rock bottom. The guy that called me out, I see him, he trains at my gym now. Like we've kind of made up. But I think I'm glad I went through that because I learned a lot about just people and psychology. And it just made me more resilient too. And fuck, man, like I made a mistake. You know what I mean? I fucked up.
Yeah, you got caught. You didn't. Everyone makes. So many people make that mistake. That's the difference. And you had the profile where people could call you out on it.
People,
I'm glad it happens. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you want to?
It's just so crazy to think as well that like you were back then. It's like you were going around trying to hide it, or not really trying to hide it, but I guess try to hide it. And now you just find some random person's like TikTok or Instagram, and they're like, "I'm on gear." Like it's just so.
I don't know where did it all change, bro. But like back then, like And it was not spoken about.
It's like it's
Yeah.
cool now.
Yeah,
Like,
back then we had to raid T Nation forums to find lackluster advice.
it was like, it was so different. I don't think
Mm.
people now, like the kids would be like, they wouldn't understand. It was really different.
Yeah.
Even back then, I don't know why I was so, I was just following the trends, you know. I'm like, fuck, all right,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
So then I took a bit of time off and then just got serious about my real estate. Always had been, but I really started being serious. And yeah, I just fucking came back. I thought, fuck, let's rock and roll, you know.
Yeah.
Out of shape, and then I thought, nah, this is not me. Like,
Yeah.
burning desire. But what actually drove me the most was I had a girlfriend at the time, and like I was training and stuff, but I actually caught her messaging another guy. And man, that fucking burned me so hard that I just became a monster.
Yeah.
So when I saw messages, I was like, fuck this. I'm just getting back into shape.
Yeah.
That was actually the main thing that drove me to get back in peak shape. I think of her messaging him. I'm like, man, I just do another hour cardio. I didn't care how much pain I was in, sleep I was lacking. I didn't care at what time. I just did it, and it took me that like, man, you just do anything when you're motivated. So I'm glad that happened, because if it didn't, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. You know, that drove me. I was like a fucking madman.
Yeah.
You know? And the times where I'd fucking, it's 2 a.m. I'm like, I'm getting shredded. Fuck this. All I had to do was think of her messaging him. And man, I had instantaneous energy. It was like, it's like I turned the tap on and my body just went, boom, here's another hour of fucking power. Go.
Yeah.
It's amazing what the mind can do, bro.
Of course. Yeah. I went through something similar as well. So I was well out of training for probably 18, maybe coming up to 2 years with a partner. And then, yeah, she cheated on me. And like my first reaction was, what am I doing? Like, what the fuck am I doing? And then straight back in that gym. If it wasn't for the gym, man, like,
yeah,
who knows how that would have been handled, you know?
Yeah, gym saved my life, dude. So I think you need to go through some hard times, but you can either sit and fucking feel sorry for yourself. You got to do something. So, you know, there's been someone to just get up and do the work. I think it's a generational thing too. I think my generation's, man, it doesn't sound silly, but we worked our asses off. We didn't know anything different.
Yeah, that's like me. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're probably in the same boat, but I think the kids now it's a bit, I don't know, speaking to one of them at the gym, and I'm like, you want to get lean, do some cardio? He's like, do I have to? I'm like, are you fucking normal?
Yeah.
You gotta move, bro. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
People just don't realize what it takes.
Yeah, man. So it's just some people, I guess, but
it's more just like, what can I take to? It's like, oh, like I want to do clean. It's like, okay, how's your cardio going? It's like, oh, nah, man, I'm not doing my cardio. And it's like, well, why the fuck would you do clean? Like, this tablet does not fix it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but that's the mentality now. It's just like, all right, like for example, I've had some really good transformations lately, and people were messaging me. It's like, what's he taking? And it's like, he's waking up at 3 a.m. to do cardio before he goes and works 12-hour days. That's what he's taking.
And he got his
heart
broken. That's what happened.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. Yeah.
He's motivated. I had a client of mine who got divorced, went through a separation. He looked all right, and he had his house to sell. And he goes, Johnny, like, part of selling my house, I want you to get me in shape. All right, it's going to be tough. Like, I'm gonna tell you exactly what to do. So I wrote a diet. I had links to where to buy the food. I made it easy for him. So it was like when to eat, what to eat, and when to train, and what to take, what supplements to take, what gear to take. Bro, in 12 weeks, he went from fucking shit to being shredded at festivals, with top off, being absolutely peeled. And it's because he went through that divorce or that separation that he was motivated.
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck this, bro, I'm tired. He's an electrician, right? He's working like long days. He's like, what do I do now? He'd call me up. I'm like, bro, go have a nap, get the fuck back up, go again and do more cardio before you go to sleep. get the fuck up, go again, 45 minutes. Okay, boom, eat this, eat that, keep the cut. Hey, here's a refeed day. Dude, his photos were fucking, he looked insane. Like insane. But his motivation was at an all new level. He's like, fuck this, get in the best shape. And he called me every day. So I was coaching him while I sold his house. It was beautiful, man. But he was an easy, look at him like a client, right? Like, let's say I became a coach. He had a reason, bro.
Yeah.
You know
underlying motivation.
Fucking yeah. So
it's a matter of finding your why as well, I guess. Like, and I feel like a lot of people sort of come into it and it's like, if you don't have a true why, you're not going to be able to follow everything. Like, there's no fucking way. Like, you have to know exactly why you're doing it. You can't just come in and be like, oh, I want to look shredded. Like, that's not good enough. Or it's like, I want to lose weight.
I want to look like Johnny Starr.
Like, you know what I mean? You need a real reason to be doing it.
But sometimes that shallow why, like the breakup, like for me, for example, that happening to me, that probably got me over the line for those next 12 weeks. But those 12 weeks allowed me to fall back in love with like training, bodybuilding, nutrition, dieting, etc. And then as a result, I've been able to sustain that from like, I think I was 24 at the time, 25, and now I'm 28. Like I haven't had really much time off outside of like maybe a week or two. Oh no, man! I haven't had any time off between now and then. I don't think I've missed a day without telling myself I'm missing today because of the deload or I'm sick. Yeah, the days I miss. Yeah,
I've taken 3 days off because I was sick. It's like
can't
wait you a little bit, doesn't it?
And then you can always. I did a lot of travel last year, and that made me stay in shape because I had to. I was going overseas, so I mean, if you book a holiday, there's a good chance you're going to be in shape for it.
Of course, yeah, of course.
Well.
But bro,
not really want to be.
But not everyone's got the mindset to do it, dude. What I've realized is, you know, how many people message me and shit. I meet people every day. They're asking for advice. I tell them what to do. They don't do it. I give them a plan. It's so fucking basic, but they can't get their head around just cutting out some other shit in their lives to be a little bit disciplined. So it's only a certain amount of people that can really can do this. You know, to look elite.
It's not always either like pulling things out of your life, like food and like potential bad habits. It's sometimes just like environmental factors which you don't realize. That could be partners, that could be jobs, etc. It's not that easy to tell someone to pull the pin on something like that, but
it's massive.
Sometimes it's necessary. Yeah.
You know where I struggled with Michael and James. You seem like you both probably a bit like me. You're nice guys. I've always been a nice guy. But I have become a ruthless cunt to fucking really get ahead.
Yeah.
So I started reading all these books. I went on a journey of just being the ultimate human. To myself and go, fuck everyone. I'm just going to be optimal every way I can because I deserve this. So I cut off all these fuckwits that were wasting my time, all these losers that wanted to do a random session with me, and I'd waste my time with them. Like, fuck this shit. And then I reached out to Scott, and Scott's like, cool. He's like, he can leverage my following. I'm like, man, leverage it. I'm not a PT. Fucking get as many clients as you want out of this. I don't give a fuck. I'm here to help. We started training together, making content. I'm reading fucking minimum 2 audiobooks a week. Just leveled up massively. But the one thing that got me through is I had to just cut off a lot of fucking flops out of my life, bro. And I've spoken about heaps of podcasts, but that's hard to do.
Yeah, I know it is.
It's hard to like, you don't want to let people down. So you got to like almost tiptoe around it and pretty much just say, hey, I'll be, I do this. And once you start saying no, you really, that's probably the most important thing. You really get ahead.
Yeah. Did you have any books in particular that have really like been influential?
Man, I've got them all. I write them all down, but this one,
it's cool.
I listened to. Okay, here we go. This is my book list for so January, February, March. 19 books this year, right? I'll tell you, I've just been listening to this one recently. One book that actually changed my life is it's called Do It Today. If you YouTube it, if you are watching this, like YouTube Do It Today, that really changed my life. It's the 17 indisputable laws of teamwork by John X Maxwell. That's pretty good. So you guys get something out of that.
Yeah.
And this is a good one too, which I just listened to the start of March. And these are all old school books, yeah, like really old school things. The Difference Maker, Making Your Attitude Your Greatest Asset by John C. Maxwell. They're like the most 3 recent that I've listened to.
Yeah.
That have just changed my perspective, you know. So I make sure every day I try and get 2 hours of audiobooks in.
Yeah, of course. I see. Do you do the audiobooks while you're doing cardio, I'm guessing?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Feeding the house, whatever. I just bang them in.
So a bit of a touchier subject, but you did struggle with drug addiction as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to just touch on that as much as you're comfortable touching on anyway?
No, it's cool. I'm happy to talk about it.
Yeah.
My life hasn't always been smooth, bro. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I made a lot of mistakes. There was a time when we had some issues at home, and I got kicked out of home. So I was living on someone's couch, living on a mate's couch.
How old were you here, by the way?
Like maybe 23, 24.
Yeah, cool.
And then I was training at another gym. So out of the area, I was training at a gym, and I met some guys at the gym. I was correcting their form. Anyway, it turns out these guys like pushed a lot of drugs. And I became mates with them. I was just like, oh, cool. So anyway, I get like fucking the best Coke, best ND, and just smoking bongs and shit. I was just getting cooked every day with them. But I was still like doing real estate as well. So I was like sleeping on the couch, pretty much had everything like in a suitcase. I iron my shirts like in this spare fucking bungalow at someone's house. I rock up to work. I just get cooked every night and go to the gym with these guys. And I was in this group of guys that were just pushing gear. And man, I just pretty much just cooked myself. Like I was doing that much, I lost my mind. I was doing Coke, MD, fucking smashing bongs like hard, like ripping. I was ripping them as hard as I could, just to like being in the group. And I thought that was God. You know, you know, just it's common, right? Anyway, so I got put in a psych ward. I just went mental.
Oh, so you actually went to a psych ward?
I've been 3 times, bro.
I didn't know that actually. Yeah.
Oh, bro, like I'm a regular there.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
It's like my second home. So the second time I was there for a month at one stage where I was really bad. And I got some stories in there too, dude. Fuck, you got no idea the shit that happened in that psych ward.
Yeah. Give us one after. Give us one.
Oh, no, I'm going to save them for a book, but the shit that was going on was fucking. I've been through some crazy shit, dude. It's fucking ridiculous. Why nothing amazes me now. Like, oh my god, the stuff I've been through, the stuff I've seen is not normal.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't have been this, right? Like, none of this should have happened, but it just all got just like because you had some violence at home. I had to. It just. Shit just happens, bro. You know, you caught up in life and you just make a few bad mistakes, and then even me, you know, someone who's pretty disciplined and smart, it fucked up, you know. So yeah, anyway, what I did was I even when I got out of the psych ward, I was still heavily involved in it, like drug world. Yep. And training and just smashing Coke. Like the amount of Coke I went through was crazy. Once you get hooked on Coke, it's pretty, and you get it easily too. It's pretty hard to get off it. Yeah. I've got a pretty addictive personality. So if you get some good Coke, man, it's addictive for a reason, right? Yeah. So I know you're smiling. You think you're fucking even so like, man, I just had access to it all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm trying to push it, like, you know, like, fuck, I've got good Coke. I'll start to make some money out of it. And I was just trying to feed my own addiction. So I was never getting ahead. I'm pushing gear. I'm, fuck, I'm never getting ahead. This is fucking stupid. Okay. You do so much, like you can't sell enough to sustain your own habit.
Yeah, of course not.
Man, I've got to stop, otherwise I'm going to die, you know? So, man, you know, I actually stopped. I fucking looked at myself in the mirror. I'm like, what are you doing? You know, like it's like 11 a.m. You know, you're fucking munted. We drive to Sydney, some shit, picking this stuff up. Like it was, the stories were crazy, bro. Like it's fucking, we're catching Ubers to Sydney, pick up drugs, me and mate.
Yeah.
Just cook the whole way. Like, this is, I shouldn't even talk about this. So,
yeah.
It's funny to think about it now. It's ridiculous, bro. It's fucking stupid. And I said to myself, hey, you got to stop, bro. Like you got to die. So I stopped. I told my dad. Dad's like, cool. I said, because I was still working at the time. I said, Dad, take my money. And then I said, all my mates who I was doing it with, I said, oi, if you guys are my mates, you won't call me when you do it. I don't care if you do it still, just don't get me involved. And they actually listened. They didn't, except for one guy one time. And I'm like, fuck. I'm that. Anyway, so I cut him off. He didn't do what he said he'd do. Lovely guy. He's just, man, he's ruined his life on that shit. It ruins lives.
Yeah, of course it does. People don't realize either.
Man, you get into a little bit of drugs, it's going to ruin your life, even alcohol. So I drank, thank God. And then I cleared myself up, bro, you know? And after I cleared myself up, that thing happened with that girl. And I was like, well, hey, I'm clean now. This is good. Got rid of her. Only one thing to do is life back on track and, you know, get into good shape again. And I'll tell the journey, you know, and I was so insecure about telling people what I went through. I was really embarrassed. But then I kind of spoke up about it, and man, I was getting hundreds of messages from people going, fuck, bro, I've been through the same thing.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel so bad. I'm like, really? Man, the amount of guys that message me going, bro, you changed my life. Like I was hard on the drugs. I've seen you get out. It's inspired me to stop. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe what I went through can serve a purpose if I can show people, hey, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. You know, I got a couple of guys that I message now that are like, they hit the pipe hard.
Yeah.
And they stopped, you know, and they're getting back into training, and they find a job again. You know, they're paying off their debts. Like there's guys, once you go down that rabbit hole, it takes a lot of lives, bro. Like people are committing suicide from this shit, like all the time. So I thought, fuck, you know what? Maybe the shit I went through is saving a couple of lives, and I'll happily talk about it. You know? And it's easy to talk about it. It's easy to talk about it now because I'm back, like in a much better place.
Of course, yeah.
Like things are going good. My brand's picked up. My health's good. Everything right. But if it wasn't, it would be very difficult. I'm glad I kind of got back to where I'm at, and now I'm happily talk about it. There's no shame. We make mistakes. We're gonna die anyway. I may as well tell people my journey, and
of course
help a few people along the way. Why not?
Do you still see as well? Do you still see a therapist?
Oh yeah. Every 4 6 weeks I got a psychologist.
I think it's good to talk about that too, like because I'll touch on like I've seen therapists regularly in the past, not so much at the moment, and people think you almost need to be like fucked up to have to see someone
to do it.
But like the reality is like servicing, like one of my clients years ago said to me like it's like servicing the mind. You know what I mean? You service your car, you service your mind.
That's actually a good analogy, bro. I'm going to use that.
Yeah, the guy that actually told it to me, I was a bit like, that's deep from you. But yeah, like it's just like I feel like it's so demonized. So it's just nice. It's good to put out there, I think, that if you need to seek help, like you should, you know, and you don't need to be fucked up or have a bad upbringing or anything like that to need that kind of professional help. Like it's just
But do you see someone, James, as well?
Nah, I don't. I haven't in the past, but it's one of those things as well where
no shame in it, bro.
I feel like bro, there shouldn't be any shame in it. And like there's some periods where you go through as well where even with myself, it's like you sit there and it's like, oh, should I see someone about this? And I personally haven't, and I feel like I definitely should. Like the situations that I've been through where I probably should have, but I don't know. It's just one of those things where, like Michael said, it's not that it's demonized, but you know,
people it's more common. It's more common now.
Yeah, and I feel like you're right. I feel like a lot of people do sort of get to the mindset of something has to be really wrong to do it, but not really, even if it's something minor. Like, it's just worth speaking to someone, I guess, or speaking up.
Yeah, even just speaking to anyone. But the thing is, like, the stuff I say to my psychologist, I can't say this to anyone else. Like, I'm really raw. And like, she doesn't judge me, you know. I went through a couple to find someone I got along with too. Like,
Same as me. Yeah.
yeah. So
But the first one was like, I remember the first psych I saw, like I got off the phone and I thought, what a fucking waste of time.
I
Like I
felt
feel
worse.
Yeah, me too. And then I contacted like the girl who sort of got me onto him, and I said, "Hey, like this isn't working." And she said, "No, try someone else." And then I got onto the next one, and I was like, "All right, that's better." Like I'm getting somewhere now. The problem with it, though, I'm sure you've like with the wrong person as well. It can open up. It can almost open up sort of cans where you may not necessarily need to open up on at that point in your life. Do you know what I mean? It's like a little bit of a can of worms. I found there was a couple of sessions where because I remember I just kept going back every 2 weeks, and I remember one of them I was just like, fuck, I actually like probably didn't need to touch on that today. Like I know you just push it down, but like I just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that's the problem some people see, but you have to be able to confront that. And like for me at that point in my life, I wasn't really ready to confront that. So it was just like I felt like I was doing more harm than good.
You need to find the right person.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, I do. So in answering that, I do see someone regularly. And with mine, it's kind of good because I don't know if it's right or wrong, but she gives me little tasks to do until the next time I see her.
Yeah.
So, like probably a year and a half, 2 years ago, she's like, "All right, what events do you have coming up where you could get on the gear?" I'm like, "Fuck, I got a Christmas party here, a friend's birthday here." Because like, let's face it, everywhere you go, there's like some coke somewhere.
Of course.
Like real.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I can't. If I drink, I usually tend to lose the inhibition, and I won't get on. So I stopped drinking completely. Never really. And then a couple of the Christmas parties, she goes, "Okay, here's the game plan. How do we not do this? All right. So you got a limo picking you up for work. Okay. He goes, why don't you drive in? Then you can't drink because you're driving, and then you make till everyone's drunk. Then because you need to show face to these work events because they're paying for these tickets.
Yeah.
You got to like I'm the auctioneer, so I got to go up, show face, say hi to everyone, and then off. So like she said a game plan where I do that. I drive in, rock up, hey guys, how you going? Dress up nice, boom, 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 have a few little nibblies, smoke bomb, boom, get the
smoke bomb. I knew it was going to be smoke bomb.
And I'm gone. Because everyone's drunk. They don't even know you're gone.
They don't know you're gone. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
So she set these tasks, and the thing was, I was like a little kid reporting back to my mum. I'm like, hey, Mum, guess what? I did it. I didn't drink. I didn't get a kid. She's like, fuck, great. And she's like, she can, it sounds so basic, right? But she gave me tasks to do with Neverhome, and she set these goals, and I couldn't wait to tell her that I did them. And that's just the thing we've got now. So even when I'm seeing her in a couple of weeks, we had a thing set out for me to achieve. And 99% of the time I get them all done. And I think that system's worked for me because I've got like 6-week gaps where I achieve a few things, and it's like it's little milestones. So just what we've done. I don't know yours if you want.
What works, I guess.
Exactly, man. Yeah.
I found a lot of that just comes down to the psychologist actually caring too.
Yeah, I think she genuinely cares.
Yeah, because mine used to message, like one of mine used to message me back always, but I've also had this experience where like I never got replies. Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
I didn't expect text messages, but it's nice. Yeah.
We're all humans, man. We want you know.
Yeah, she'd literally say, if you need anything, just text me. Yeah, like that was nice. Yeah, but yeah, nah, cool. Yeah, no, I just thought, like I said before, I felt like that was an interesting one to touch on, just based on like just a stigma around it. I don't think there's so much a stigma anymore, so it's becoming more accepted. Yeah, but for years, even in my head, it was sort of like, oh, you don't see someone if you're not fucking mentally damaged, and it's sort of like, no,
there's always something.
It's probably the one thing that changed my life, just seeing.
Yeah. What would you say were the biggest like influential factors outside of what we've discussed? Like just anything that you've sort of participated in and like acted upon. If there's anything that hasn't been touched on.
Just in general life.
Mm.
Yeah, I've always, well, I'm known to just, you speak to someone and everyone's got an opinion. It's like
Yeah.
everyone's got an opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But I just try to listen to people who are actually in a place I want to be in.
Mm-hmm. I'm big on that, man. I'm big on that.
Like
Yeah.
something like, bro, I don't like the fuck I want to listen to you for. Like
Yeah.
what have you achieved?
Yeah.
That is, I've got mentors in every major thing that I want to succeed in life. So for bodybuilding, I've always had a subtype of coach that's better than, in real estate now, my director, he's like the 11th top agent in Victoria, right?
Yeah.
I'm doing so well at the moment because he guides me on what to do. I listen to him. Like, you got to be humble enough to go, hey, people better than you, fucking listen to them. Then on my auctioneering, I reckon I'm one of the best auctioneers going around. I really believe that because I had good coaches. I did a lot of comps, and then I went to auctioneers for like 10 years. I was doing one-on-one coaching, learning from 3 of the best. So I get a bit from everyone. I'm like, put my own style together. So I did that. And then real estate, like development, I'm like, all right, I want to get good at a certain thing in property, which is developments. So I seek this guy out called Steve, and he's doing 150 jewel locks. He's building 300 houses in Southeast Melbourne.
Yeah.
Who the fuck does that, right? And I see him a couple of times a week. He's my mentor for doing jewel locks. So I've been lucky enough to get in with really good mentors. So I'm learning from the best. You need to actually learn from people. Like learning online or watching videos, it's not the same. If someone can actually talk to you, go, hey, this is how it works. It's always worked better for me, like with Scotty now, my coaching, I go, hey, this, and this. I speak to him all the time. So I'm learning from him. He's got clients at the Olympia, like fucking, I don't know this shit. So I listen to what he says. That's one thing. So good coaching, but that's hard to do. Like because of who I am, people are more open to giving me information. It's a lot easier for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Because I mean, like in the most humblest way.
Yeah.
So I can, unless you got to pay them as well.
It's funny because people will see you doing 2 hours of cardio a day and they'll message me and saying, hey, Johnny's doing this, man. Like, I got to do that too. And it's like, it works for Johnny, but fucking, you don't need to be doing 2 hours of cardio a day. You know what I mean? But because you have that voice, like people just think, fuck yeah, like that sounds great. Yeah.
Like that's not sustainable for most people, bro.
Yeah.
Like, most people like.
Yeah, I had a mate who did it for ages because of you, and I had to like talk him out of it. Sorry,
did he get shredded though?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Look, it's going to work, but you can't do that forever,
Oh, he was cooked his legs towards the end, and then he'd come in the mornings and he'd like to the gym and he'd see me and he'd be like, oh, like going upstairs. Yeah.
Don't do you guys, I'm crazy.
Yeah, everything in extremes.
And then the one thing that's worked for me is, man, I just became ruthless with my time.
Yeah.
I started taking everything really serious. I made notes on this to talk about it.
Yeah, go for
it. And my preparation is world class. Like, I will prepare for things. Even this comp, man, I'm preparing 5 years out. I'll win the Classic Physique Olympia. I believe to do that. And even if I don't do it, I'm going to look fucking good because I've got the mindset that I'm doing it. So I'm going to be at such a level.
When are you competing?
I set myself a goal to do it in 5 years. Like, to get to where I want to be in 5 years.
Yeah.
And why 5 years is because, so I weigh 90 kilos now, and I'm relatively lean. A year ago, I weighed 84 kilos at this time. So I've put on 6 kilos of muscle, right? With steroids, growth hormone, and all this stuff. So I looked at it. So if I could average, say, 4 to 5 kilos a year, I'm 183 kilograms. Like, I know my weight cap's about 103 kilos to peak out.
Yeah.
It's going to take me 3 or 4 years to fill out my body. Like to maximize it, right? And people are saying, do it now, compete now. I'm like, I'll do what I want to do. Thank you very much. Like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, everyone can go suck my cock. So I figured, well, I'm training anyway. like we're all working out. I may as well just do this to the absolute maximum level as I can.
You can.
Like I think everyone should if they can. Like you're training anyway. You're eat. All I do, bro, is I train like everyone else. We all eat, train, and sleep and shit. Like all I'm doing is I'm just tweaking everything to maximize it, right? So I eat perfect every fucking meal. I don't find that hard because I prep. Train my ass off, and I structure my training so I'm working to make my physique better for what I need. So more arms, I need more shoulders, I need more lower back, I need more glutes, I need more hamstrings, my quads and my chest, and like some things are already pretty good, right? But other things I need to balance. I sat down with Scott and said, Scott, over the next period of next 5 years, where do I need to go, you know, to make my body perfect, like to have the most aesthetic physique in the world? Structured it. So we got a plan. So every session I do is structured to make my body as balanced as possible. So dedicated arm and shoulder day every 5 days in our split because I need more arms and shoulders. I don't have great arms. I'm not going to compete in a year because my arms won't be good enough. I'm not perfect. I do pretty well now, but I want to just max it out and do the best I can. And I enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, makes it easier.
So what happened was I got serious about my training. Like I got serious. Like, and that's one thing is like get fucking serious about life. So I thought, fuck, I'm here, I'm alive. I may as well just do it to the best I can. And then that comes down to like being really prepared. So I just started preparing. So for work and auctions and everything I do, I'm fucking prepared. And it takes a bit of time. So I probably spend a bit more time than most. Like tonight, I'm doing meal prep because I've got 2 meals left, which I eat tonight. And then I know if I'm not prepared, because I'm working in my real estate, you know, most of the day, what happens is if you don't prepare the food, you end up going out and eating shit, or you think you're getting like half a roast chicken from the chicken shop and some fucking packet rices and some frozen. You're making meals, but it's not ideal. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
You need to sacrifice like a bit of Netflix at night or talking up chicks on Instagram, whatever it is, to be prepared. So I just started doing the basics, man, every day. It's all it is. Washing my clothes, having my clothes organized, all that shit that no one talks about. It takes your time. My clothes are perfectly folded. I'm like, it's freakish.
Yeah.
My suits are prepped. All my shoes are ready. My socks are ready to go in every drawer. So I'm really efficient. So when I wake up to cardio, 45 seconds, I'm ready. I'm in the car. I'm off to the gym. And the audio is ready to go. So I'm everything pretty efficient. It's probably a bit much, but man, I've gotten to these habits now where it's working for me. I'm just getting ahead so much faster than everyone else.
Yeah, I actually had a conversation with someone the other week where they were really struggling for time in their day. And I was sort of like, you need to acknowledge how the little moments of time do impact your total available time across the day. So the guy was working like 7 till 5, getting home 6:30. He was cooking his dinner every night. He was meal prepping like 3 times a week. And I just said, cook everything on a Sunday, then all you have to do is eat. And he said, oh man, it only takes 10 minutes to cook. I'm like, yeah, so if you spend half an hour a day cooking, you spend another 15, 20 minutes thinking about eating, that's an hour back almost. That's your training. Yeah. I said, get the train. So he had to come home and he had like little tasks to do and whatnot. I'm like, get the train in. It's still an hour to get to work.
Yeah.
Do that on your laptop on the train. That's another hour back at night. That's they're bigger examples. But like even just like, it's not just the time that you're losing because of the time that you're spending doing the task. It's like anticipating, preparing, sitting here like, oh fuck me, I can't be fucked doing this right now. So you waste another 10 minutes. Do you know what I mean?
This is a podcast in itself. Like
Yeah, of course.
Structuring this perfectly what you say, man. Structuring your life. Like James, you're very successful at what you do. You must have some structure.
Yeah.
In your life.
Of course. Yeah. Lots of look, I'm a little bit more rogue with my structure, but like the tasks which consume me like that, they're nailed. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And also one thing, if you're doing a certain task, like I turn my phone on sleep mode. So anyone who calls during that time, I can't get distracted because if I'm in a task, like let's say I've got to make callbacks from the inspections on the weekend. And if someone messages me, I'm not checking my Instagram DMs then, bro.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
If I check my Instagram DMs, all I'm doing is DMs. I'll get nothing because of any. Like, you've just got to stay on that fucking task and not get distracted.
Yeah.
Because getting back onto the task takes like 20 minutes. Like getting your head.
Bad.
Yeah.
It's like you're restarting. Like,
yeah, you know, or you see something pop up on Facebook, like you got to turn all that
shit off.
What I turn is I turn off all notifications on social media. I don't get
I have I get no notifications. I haven't had notifications for years.
Perfect, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it really is.
Those little things too. How we got for time? We got time?
Oh no, we're, as long as you have.
I wanted to talk about this. It's like, you know, I'm in a new relationship now.
Yeah, I thought that was fresh, eh?
It's been a year, so it's been really good.
Same as my
Yeah, so I didn't know a girl like this could exist, right?
Yeah.
I'm in a good place with that mentally. Like, we're such. I just saw her on the way here, right? On the way here, she was parked at, because the gym we train at's on the way here.
Yeah. What gym do you train at, by the way, for listeners?
I train at like 5 gyms. So
yeah, you've said that before.
Yeah, like
cardio gym, PM gym, AM gym.
Yeah, it's good because it mixes it up, right?
Yeah.
They give me free memberships because I just tag them. So like, But I put a little love note on her car then, right? It was just funny. So, because I've had some toxic girlfriends, bro. Holy fuck. So that shit you can't get anything done.
No.
If you have a toxic relationship. So I've learned through all these bad ones that I needed to take control of this one and set ground rules down early. I'm like, this is what I'm going to do. Don't do this, and it's been really good. So I think the younger guys now, like, girls are pretty out there at the moment, right? Like, they can they'll stress you. So that could be a major problem in just getting your headspace right, the relationship. If your relationship's toxic, you're not going to eat well. The training will be bad. You're going to have high cortisol levels. You're not going to be sleeping well. Work's going to be shit. Like, you got to get the fuck out of those relationships if they're bad, bro.
Yeah. I feel like a bad relationship can be the absolute game. Like, it can change everything. You can have all your ducks in a row. If you're in a bad relationship, it's done. Like, your life's fucked. Man, I have and then you see people married with kids that are like that, and it's like you're stuffed. Like,
stuck now.
Half the companies we sell are from breakups, you know, and it's just so sad to see what's happening, and they hate each other. You know, but I don't even know with each other. And I guess it must have started off good, but people.
You know what, man? I deal with a lot of, like, I've dealt with a lot of people across the last 5-6 years that I've been doing this. The writing is always on the wall.
Yeah.
They still say, like, the amount of times where I had a client come in, like, complain. One story in particular, I think like, I found out my boyfriend's cheating on me. I think he's cheating on me. Then they tell you the story and you hear it and you're like, fuck yeah, he is cheating on me.
If you think they probably are.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, he's definitely cheating. But then they come back and it's like, oh, nah, it turns out that this. And it's like, that is like absolute bullshit. And then like 2 months later, oh, I'm pregnant. Oh, like, and another 2 months later, oh, I'm engaged now. And it's like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, did you.
Like, what happened?
Yeah.
Chicks in the late 20s, early 30s that meet a guy and they're like, suddenly fucking engaged.
Yeah.
You got a missus named yourself?
Me, mate, I'm engaged. I've been with my missus for almost 9 years.
Oh, that's awesome, bro. That's funny.
Yeah, I know.
Oh man, that's beautiful, Tonya. That's
Yeah. But nah, she's good, man. She probably, you know what? She probably works harder than I work, to be fair.
That's good.
She does.
Which is good. She does.
Yeah.
She does work harder than me. But she's the same, like, and it's good with the two of us because, man, I hate talking about my relationship. I don't know why.
No,
I feel like, you know why I hate talking about it? Because I feel like when I talk about my relationship with people, they sort of look at it and they're like, nah, there has to be something wrong. And just right, like even ask Michael, like,
there's never problems. Never in 9 years.
Nothing wrong. I've
literally awesome,
hit a gold mine. I don't know what it is. But yeah, she's like works harder than me. Like, man,
get her on a
anything I
podcast,
do,
please. Share your secrets. She do relationship podcast. Share your secrets.
Yeah,
I reckon
I
that'd be the one of the most boring podcasts to listen to because
I
we're
would
just
love to
both,
listen to that.
man, we're just both just so easygoing. Like
That's amazing. Yeah.
she supports everything I do. I support everything she does. Just
What does she do?
so she is actually so she works for a laser company.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
what she does is she pretty much trains clinics on how to use the machine. So the clinic will buy a machine.
Like a sales rep?
Trains. Nah, so she's not the sales rep. So pretty much she just teaches them how to use it after it's sold to them.
Okay, yeah, that's cool.
But she also does like eyelash extensions, eyebrow tattooing, lip tattooing, fucking everything.
That's a big industry, bro. You know, vanity's recession proof. No matter how bad the economy is,
bad.
People are going to try to look good.
Yeah, I know.
It's true. It's true. And it's like,
really, yeah.
Yeah, and like she's been in this job that she's doing now for a year, and it's like people contact the company and say we're only buying a machine if she trains us. Like,
oh wow, that's amazing.
So she's good at what she does, and
yeah, good on you. Well, send us some wedding photos, man. That'd be great.
Yeah, that's about
soon.
2 years away, I reckon.
Well, look, that's pretty much it. And then there's I could blab on about so much stuff, but I covered a few things. I'm lucky enough to get myself back into a good place. It was just being, I just got really disciplined and I just wanted to love myself again.
Yeah.
That's huge. Yeah,
I felt like I deserved it because I'm actually, in my heart, I believe I'm a really good person. I just make wrong decisions. Everyone makes mistakes. So I thought, all right. And then, just with my brand again too, I just thought I need this to take. I won't push it the brand now, but
that was actually the only point we haven't touched on.
Yeah. I started this brand in 2014 with my mate Craig. And I copped a lot of flack when I started, a lot of jealous people too, right? And always the first year was very, very successful. And then it's always been traveling okay, but I relaunched it properly, a year and a half ago. And man, just to see the people's love for it still be there, it was touching because I was having doubts. I'm like, fuck, should I keep doing this? I'm like, nah, it's good. It's got a good meaning. So what drives me too is I work so hard to get the brand up again. I want this to be $1 billion brand, and I'm just now meeting with marketing teams and just finally getting some big influencers on, which you'll see like it's a big name jumping on board. But I just want to be leader of the industry in apparel for and I'm enjoying it. So, but that's just been discipline, getting back into shape, pushing it, putting up good content. It all comes from a good place.
Oh, cool. I didn't know you had like those kind of ambition with it either. Like quite large scale. Yeah, nice, man.
And I want it to be bigger than Nike, that's my goal.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I read good book to read is Shoe Dog. This was my inspiration. Yeah. If you read that got me. I'm like, fuck yeah, this cunt can do it, I'll do it.
Yeah.
So none of this stuff all takes 15, 20 years to get going. So it doesn't it's not
it doesn't happen overnight.
It takes time, bro, to build the foundations. So
because I feel like there was a little phase as well, probably back like when we like in, I guess going to call it our era, 2014. A lot of people thought like, yeah, clothing brand, I'm going to do that. I can make it famous with that. I can make it big with that. I can make money. And then they realize that it's work, and it's like, it's a lot of work, man. If you told someone 50, the funny thing is, man, right? So if you told me in 2016, so I'm 23 now, so it's 7 years, 8 years. If you told me it would take 10 years to get to where I am today, I would have said, fuck that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
7.5 now, man.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah. Like, and I'm where I'm not really, from a coaching perspective, I'm where I want to be. From a clientele perspective, I'm pretty close to where I want to be. I do have things that I want to achieve, like, which are furthermore, but like, I feel like I'll get there now that I'm here. Because I remember, like, for example, back in the day, like my goal was always to do like workshops, similar to like a Eugene Teo kind of spec. You remember Eugene? Yeah. And then like some kind of educational kind of portal. So that's kind of my next step now, that's where I'm headed. Like on top of like probably the stepping stone to that is like high level competitors, and which I have a good bunch competing. Like probably this time next year is probably where I'll have like my biggest batch of competitors sort of going for that IFBB, which should be really good. I wish it was this year, but it's okay. And then the next step after that would definitely be that educational side of it. But it comes down to, like you said, time management. So like for me, like I realized like last night, because I have a mentor as well, I was on the call with him. He sent me all my tasks for the week or for the fortnight. And I sort of said, yeah. And he said, and I looked at him and I said to him, man, I can't do this. Like I don't have time to do that. And he's like, have you looked into an assistant?
Yeah, there you go.
So now that's sort of where that should be sorted in the next week. And then the back end is covered. But that comes down to time management. And obviously I'm still going to have to some degree, micromanage that. But without me recognizing that, okay, I'm going to have to better manage time to do this. How can I do that? Okay, I can pay someone to do those tasks for me. Like that ticked off. And that's a step in the right direction, because if those tasks ticked off, I continue to scale, continue to bring in work, etc. I focus on coaching. I can slowly delegate off as slowly. Yeah, go on.
You know what I noticed that would work if I was a coach, right? Like let's say fuck this, I'll get into coaching. I know I would smash it, but what I would do is I would absolutely talk with conviction and confidence in
you have to.
Yeah, because confidence is highly infectious. And I've noticed that through just the years of being in real estate and sales. So you're really confident in what you do. That's why you're probably quite, and you obviously you do too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like a guy last night actually at the gym, he came to me and he said, "Yeah, I've hired this coach, this, that." I'm not gonna say who it is or who the guy was or anything. And he's like, "This is what I'm running." And I just looked at him with the face, and he's like, "Oh, you can say what you want." I'm like, "Look, bro, whatever I say here, stick with the coach, keep paying him, keep doing what it tells you to do." But I am so confident in what I know and what I do that it would be I'd be doing myself a disservice by not telling you what I genuinely think of this. And he's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "That cycle's ridiculous. Your coach is a fucking idiot." I'm like, "I'm sorry I have to be so brutal about it, but that's honestly what I think. And if I'll sit here and shut up, it would go against everything that I know and stand for." And like I said to him, I'm that confident in what I do and that confident in what I know that I have to say this to you. And then he came back, "Oh, this, that." And I'm like, "Bro, I'm sorry. I'm that confident that nothing you could say to justify what you just told me could be, I guess, justifiable." Do you know what I'm trying to say? But again, that's the level of to be fair, that's the level of confidence that I'm at with what I do.
Yeah, no, I like it.
Yeah. But like if I wasn't confident in something, I say, "Hey man, let me look into that. Let me get an opinion on that." There's times with clients I'll say, "You know what? I'm gonna get an opinion off a friend about that because I'm not too sure." But I'm confident in even saying that. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't bullshit your way through it.
Nah, no way.
Yeah. No, you do. Yeah.
The bullshit always comes out, bro. That's what I've realized meeting a lot of people, a few people are full of it, but that's the way the world goes.
I got a little bit passionate there. Sorry.
No, man, I'm with you. Like I'm passionate about my clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Passion. Do something else.
Yeah, I know. I agree. Yeah, 100% agree.
Boys. I think my laptop's got 8%, and
that was great, man.
We got a meal prep, mate.
Yeah, that was perfect. That was perfect. That was great too, because it was
I had fun.
It was a bit of personal stuff too, which was awesome. Really good for those listening.
I hope it helps some people. Like that's as raw as it is. I got nothing to hide, so
it's nice to
shredded freak, but man, I've fucking made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah,
I don't made them because it's made me who I am today. So if you fuck up. Watching this now, just learn from it and move on. You'll be all right.
Fuck yeah.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
Always is, bro.
Thank you, man. We appreciate having you on.
See you, James. Thanks, boys.
Thank you, Johnny. Thanks, man.
Thanks, Johnny. Take care, man.
Bye-bye.